Brother Maynard, bring up the holy hand grenade. 1, 2, 5.
Please, sir.
3.
Arm yourselves, America. This is Defenders Live.
Is it bad that I wanted to start the show off with the Gregorian chant thingy we did yesterday?
I mean, that would have been actually that we could technically have done that again.
I know.
It would have been good.
I don't know why. I kind of liked it.
It was really good, honestly.
It was
nice.
calming.
Everything was cool. We had some Zen going with it. I mean, it was nice. Not bad. It wasn't bad.
Is it really appropriate to combine Zen with
yeah, sure.
the Roman Catholic Church?
Sure, why not? It's just Roman Catholic Church.
Isn't that like heresy? Really weird.
What in the Roman Catholic Church isn't heresy?
Especially when it involves the environmental sins that people have not been. So, okay. So here's my question.
Sure. Yeah.
And I know we talked about this, and it dawned on me, and I have a question about that.
Okay, sure.
So if he's making this a new sin.
Right.
Okay.
It's a new sin.
It's a new sin.
Right.
Theoretically, it would have been a sin from the beginning.
Right.
And we just are not noticing it now. So how many people, based off the Roman Catholic Church, are in hell because of
all of them
that sin?
See, it's a new model.
Yeah, but I'm saying, does that kick back? Like, is that like, there's like reciprocity in there or something? Does that kind of fall back? Be like, I'm sorry, somebody died and goes to heaven. You know what happened? Peter's standing there and he's like, I'm sorry, I cannot let you in because, unfortunately, none of the popes ever paid attention to this, but there's a crime against the climate, and
there is crimes.
You didn't do it. You didn't apologize for it. You didn't confess it. So
sorry, no confession.
There's the elevator.
Go down.
Get you a goodie bag on the way.
By the way, great job with the rest of it, though.
I know.
Great job. Yeah,
everything else was tip top.
Nope,
but that one, sorry.
None of that. Well, it's a good thing that we're saved by faith through Christ alone.
Yes.
Speaking of faith in Christ alone, it is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
I think we need to play the music.
Are you ready for a miracle? Ready for Jesus? Are you ready for
Yay! Coming to us.
Hello.
Via the telefono, because
that's how we're rolling.
That's how we're rolling here today, because for some reason, all of the technologies decided to hate us today, except for Dylan.
Yeah, and that's because I haven't done anything.
That's right. Well,
I am the AI. I have control over my domain.
Your domain, and not the technology.
Not the rest of it. Well, no. I don't even have it over my domain.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. It's not there. Kari Malinek, how's it going?
Hey, doing okay.
Awesome.
I had my workout, so I'm doing okay.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yes,
was it leg day?
yeah.
Was today leg day?
How are y'all doing?
Other
than technology being
goofs.
Cruel.
It is what it is.
Yeah, well, don't be cruel.
It's
to a heart that's true.
No, I just want to start snapping So, was it leg day today? Or was it biceps or triceps, or did you do cardio?
It was.
I'm being nosy.
I did something. Well, so I'm kind of excited because I was able to run a little bit, which for the past. Okay, when I was in my 30s, I started doing 5Ks, and I thought, or in 10Ks, I mean, and those were fun. Not the 5K, the 10K. It was fun, and I thought, okay, my 30s are gonna be my year of running. And then I really, really wanted to do a half marathon. I don't want to do a marathon, just a half marathon. And so I was training for it a few years ago, and my sciatic nerve really got irritated and kicked in, and I could not walk or stand or sit. It just hurt, regardless of what I was doing. So I was a little bit, gone to chiropractors and stuff, and I just can't run. So a couple days ago, I ran a mile, and I thought, okay, we're going to see how it goes. Nothing, no problem. So I ran half a mile for a warm-up today, and it was fine. But then I got to do, do you know what a TRX thing is?
No.
It looks like a big jungle gym.
A big jungle
In the
gym,
gym.
okay.
Oh, yeah, we do. With the
Yeah.
rope and stuff.
I do know, yes.
You do the
yes.
jump in and the... Yeah.
Yes.
So I took a class to learn how to use that a little bit, because that's one of those, it can be really intimidating going to a gym and
All
not
the new
knowing how to
equipment?
use the machines, especially like a big jungle gym. You kind of go, oh, I'll just not even look over there.
Let me just kind of ignore that portion of the gym and...
Exactly. But then at the same time, I mean, they've got monkey bars on there. So,
I mean, why not?
you can't really ignore it.
Is
so,
is it bad that I still can't do monkey bars anymore? Like, I tried the last time we were at the gym, and
It was not good.
I made one.
There was no prettiness about it.
It was not. Have you ever seen a fat guy hanging from the ceiling?
Have you ever seen a fat guy in a little coat? I mean,
Fat guy in a little coat.
Do you know Chris Farley, actually, that used to be something that he would do. That started
Yep.
in their cubicles, or their desks, not cubicles, where he would do that to David Spade, just like
on Saturday
goofing
Night Live,
around.
just goofing around with him.
And so they put it into skits
Yeah.
or into Tommy Boy. Yeah, but it was
Such a good
something that
movie.
he was just doing like as friends.
Well, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's pretty cool when you have something that you can do with somebody else and have, in like a friendly nature and enjoy it, and then put it on like a show for people to watch, and they enjoy it just as much as you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going for our friendship here, but fine, whatever. Just remember, everybody, he's the little spoon.
Hey, sometimes it some days you're the big spoon, some days you're the little spoon.
I know, that's
you
it.
do the cuddling, and sometimes you need to be cuddled.
I mean,
I have
sometimes
no
it's
shames.
sometimes it scatters like ice on a spoon. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, I went there.
that's not right.
It's a good song. Oh, so good. All right, so Kari, we have a couple things that you wanted to talk about. One was this twin story. What is going on here?
Okay. So I'm not, okay, so, sorry, I know that I've said okay and so a billion times already at the beginning of this story, but I'm trying to decide of how to intro this, other than, I guess I'll just intro it. This is really interesting. So there were twins in England,
Yep.
and they grew up together, obviously, twins.
Sure. Right.
And one of the brothers, when he was 18, he got in a motorcycle accident, and he had so much trauma to his head. He was in a coma. He was in a trauma. With head trauma. He woke up, opened his eyes. He saw his brother, and he actually said he called him his nickname, which is Marky or Marcy. His name is Marcus, but the twin, said hi, but couldn't remember anything else from his childhood. He just knew who his twin was.
Right.
Okay.
So like a good twin, so it's Alex and Marcus are the twins. Marcus told Alex all about their childhood so he could try to remember their childhood, and he told him how doting their mother was, how loving of a household that they grew up in.
Right.
And it was just a wonderful thing for Marcus to share with Alex.
Yeah.
When their stepdad and mother died about 5 years apart from each other, when they died, Alex noticed that Marcus was not really upset about it. He was not as emotional about it as Alex was. And so the story started unraveling that the twins actually grew up in a very dysfunctional, unhealthy household. The stepfather was neglectful, mean,
Abusive.
their
yeah.
mother well, their mother abused them sexually.
Okay.
And so they had quite a horrific, traumatic childhood. And at first, when all of this came out, Alex was really upset that he had been lied to by Marcus. But then he got to a point where he realized that Marcus had given him a childhood that he actually didn't have, but Marcus carried the burden of their traumatic childhood for both of them for years. Years.
Right.
So, my question with this, was Marcus right in not laying it out for Alex, or should he have told Alex exactly what their childhood was?
See, that's a good question. If we're going to go morally, then technically he should have told him the truth.
Why?
Yeah.
If you're going morally, spiritually, you got to go with he should have told him the truth. Now,
Having said that,
But I'm saying, why morally is that the right?
because
to
honesty and truth is always the best morally.
well, and it is one of the 10 Commandments: "Thou shalt not lie."
Yeah, so that's kind of that thing.
Lying, even for someone's air quotes good, is
benefit.
still a lie.
Yeah, lying for the benefit of another is still a lie, even if it's for the benefit of another. Now, that being said, if he had done something like, "Look, I know you don't remember anything. I know you can't remember anything, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just focus on today.
Yeah.
Focus on tomorrow. Focus on the next day. Don't worry about what happened in the past." And he carried the burden in that way. Carrying the burden of something like that, of that heavy past that they both shared, in that aspect, is morally fine, morally correct, understandable even. And it's understandable as a person to lie to another person to shield them from some sort of evil or hate or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That negative emotion that would kill you and destroy your mind and emotion and mentality. But for me, it would have been so much better if he had just, you know what? Let's focus on the good times that we're going to have now. And let's focus on I'll tell you about the good times that we had in the past.
Yeah, I don't know how I would handle that either. I mean, he did have to be reminded. He had to learn to remember everything.
Right.
So
why not just let that go?
Well, I mean, I'm with you. I might be selective on some of the good things and only answer questions based off of
the good things.
Based off the good things. I think I don't know if I could bring myself to lie to him, just because, like what happened, when it comes to light, and eventually it always does.
Right, because people are people, and they're always going to bring back up the past.
Yeah, things are always going to come up in your face like that, and eventually you're going to get found out you're lied to. Thank you. And if is it? I mean, did it work out in the end? Absolutely.
Sure, for a while.
Is it? Was he doing air quotes a good thing? Yeah,
probably so.
But that's a gamble. I mean, that's a big gamble, because if you come back and he goes, well, "Wait a minute, you're my brother, you're my twin. We're identical in virtually every way, and you lied to me."
Right.
Like that's a hard betrayal to come back from.
And he did.
And he did. Praise God.
He did.
But
it could have turned out horribly wrong.
It could have.
It could have turned out way worse than this.
It went south quick.
But I do want to point out, you through the whole story and everything, you forgot to mention the fact that these twins are telekinetically linked.
I missed that.
You missed that?
I missed that. I'm looking now.
It's right here. Marcus doesn't feel relief. There's no need. So it's the first 3 paragraphs.
Oh, I see it. Yes.
Look. Alex Lewis's earliest moments are from when he was 18, August 1982.
Okay.
And he's in Guilford County Hospital when he was in a coma with a severe trauma to the head following a motorcycle accident. He opens his eyes blurrily and sees his identical twin brother, says hello, Marcus, but but he couldn't remember anything else. Marcus doesn't feel relief. There's no need. Because Marcus has never worried Alex wouldn't recover. Quote, I felt him have the accident, said Marcus. I had 100%, complete 100% knowledge that he was going to wake up and be fine.
Well, you know, they say that about twins, as there is that an unexplained connection.
Wonder twin powers activate?
Shape of water.
Form of a bucket.
Well, they turned this. This is a Netflix documentary based. Like there is a documentary
Of course they do.
about this. I don't know. I don't know that he did wrong. I think that was a very kind
Oh, I agree. It was kind.
gesture.
I
And
just worry about the risk.
I understand the whole. I mean, yes, the whole honesty thing. I mean, I get that. Whatever.
Right.
You know, I do, and I do support honesty.
Says the pastor.
I was
as
gonna
she,
say.
as she passe, just the honesty
The thing,
thing. I
whatever.
get it. All right.
Quote that. We gotta
She-
isolate
I
that
pro
audio.
honesty.
Somebody isolate that audio.
But I also, with something like this, I also would have to ask, what good will come out of it? Is
Yeah.
it better to have it out? I mean, like, is there a reason why he had to tell him? And I see what you're saying. Maybe don't fabricate a childhood, but is not fabricating a childhood, you know, oh, yeah, our parents were doting. Not saying that, but to leave all of it out, too, I don't know. I mean, is it lying by omission? But I don't know that that's a bad thing. I honestly don't. I don't think that,
I don't know.
I just don't think it, I think it was very kind for him to bear both of their traumas for.
And like I said, that's fine. That's not the issue here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're gonna nail it down to actual, boil it down to its core, it's still a lie. So
Right, but
based off of that,
The issue of bearing the sins of
Yeah,
the past,
yeah.
for both of you, that isn't the issue.
Yeah.
That is not a problem. We all agree that in that concept
Yeah.
and that understanding,
Yeah.
bearing that pain so that he wouldn't have to,
yeah,
gold,
yes,
no problem.
oh yes,
Telling him a lie
Right.
yeah,
is where I have an issue,
yeah.
and it's not.
Okay.
That's not an issue.
It's not really an issue either. It's just if you're going to be moralistic / legalistic about it, okay? If you're going to be directly legalistic
Yeah.
about it, about the moral issue, you lied.
The bare bottom, the only reason why we're doing this is because we're breaking this apart. Like every one of us that's sitting here is like, oh yeah, no, he did good.
No,
it's fine.
I'm
It's a
fine.
Great thing. And
I am
let it go.
perfectly fine with what he did.
But when you quiz it and say, should he have lied?
No,
now you're
obviously not.
That's an existential question that you kind of have to break down and go,
Yeah.
okay, who am I as a person and blah blah. Just clarification to those.
To anybody
everyone
out there listening,
He did good.
he did fine. It wasn't a problem. What he did was not an issue, and his brother loves him and understands why he did it and how he did it and the whole ordeal.
But if we break it down and boil it down,
To the issue of, is it wrong for you to lie?
then
Yes.
Okay, so would it have been, do you consider a lie like
anything not truth.
just a matter of omission?
Lies of omission
So-
are lies, yes.
Okay.
Because that's manipulation. In my book, that's manipulation. It's the same thing.
So that's where I go with the idea. That's where I go with the idea of, look, you don't remember your past. Maybe one day you'll remember. I'm not going to go into it with you.
yeah,
Let's focus on the future.
yeah. Or here's the good times of your past, and you want to remember everything else. We'll let that happen.
Yeah.
But
We'll let that run its course.
yeah, that would be crazy
Okay.
though. I don't know if I could. That's got to be hard though, as a whole.
Yeah.
The whole,
No, I don't know about that.
because twinsies are like, that's a big deal, man.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me. Get your hand off my leg. That's
Hey, this is twinsies, not that way.
This is not West Virginia. Sorry, West
This
Virginia.
isn't news. This is not newsies. This is twinsies. There's a big difference.
Poor Newsies.
Oh,
Oh, bless his heart. But that's pretty neat, though.
it's a good story, nonetheless.
a good
It's a good story. Should it be made into a movie? Hallmark. Sure.
Oh my God.
It'd be a great Christmas one, wouldn't
This
it?
would be a really good Christmas one.
He comes out of his coma at the last minute.
Right. And then, they have their first Christmas together with him not having any memories.
And that's when the lies start.
So-
And then the next year, something happens and it surfaces again. And he starts realizing he's been lied to. And just before Christmas, when everything
He
thought
goes
Christmas
through
was
this
over,
he goes through this huge iteration of trying to find the truth.
and he gets mad for a moment,
And
and then he
then
doesn't forgive his brother, and then
Thanksgiving comes around and everybody's there, and
he hates them all, and then
halfway through the month of December he realizes
that family is what's most important.
exactly.
And just like they go in for Christmas Eve,
He just goes to his brother and he says,
I forgive you.
Marcy, because he's Marcus. And
I know.
I love you, and I forgive you.
And they hug it out, and then the harp and music played.
Right, the whole deal, and
The little snowflakes
the
trickle
choir,
across the
and then
screen
some really sappy yet also happy, but kind of slow moving Christmas song plays over the sound.
Yeah. Done by like a children's choir.
Oh no, well I was thinking more like a YouTube star, because you don't have
Oh yeah, no,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
second
yeah.
rate,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
And then
that thing.
in the middle of it is the ending and the credits roll.
Oh,
Candace Cameron Bure pops out and has intros the next one that's coming up. That's her movie. or
exactly, and
something
that's
for Christmas.
I think that's how this works. You really understand the Hallmark movie, don't you?
You seriously do. Wow.
because they're all the
It's the
same.
exact same thing. Every year.
Every one of them.
45 movies all made to be the exact same movie.
Look, how many different Christmas movies do you need to see Harry Connick Jr. in?
None. Zero. I need zero of those. I need zero of those.
I need none.
Peanut Gallery.
No, there's only
I can't do those.
okay.
Christmas
Since
movies.
we don't,
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
We're the time will run out here in a moment. We have time to do it. What is like the absolute Christmas come holidays are here? The one movie that you cannot, thank you, you cannot have the holidays slip by without watching this one movie. What is it?
My wife says Nightmare Before Christmas.
I've never seen that.
Really?
Nope.
Huh.
Wait, what did you say?
My wife said Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, I remember seeing that in high school.
She's a Tim Burton person.
Yeah. I always have to watch White Christmas.
That's so good.
Yes,
That's
my
good.
favorite. I'm the same way. I have to.
Yeah.
And I sing along with all the
Yeah.
songs.
No.
Oh yeah,
No.
Mandy. Yeah, I have to do White Christmas. I actually usually watch that on Christmas.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I do it on Christmas. I try to do it on Christmas, but I try to sneak it in at least once or twice before the holiday gets in.
to see
Yeah.
a great big man covered with a ton of snow.
You know, it's funny. I didn't understand as a kid. I didn't understand that that dance number that they did. Where
The really
they were,
weird one, the really crazy one. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
the interpretive dance.
The
one?
interpretive dance in the
hilarious.
middle of the
It's
show.
hilarious.
Danny Kane's wearing eyeliner.
What is wrong with you? Stop
If you
it.
Listen to the lyrics and it's talking about like modern artists.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's just
It's making fun of
funny.
it, really.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
actually it's satire, which is great.
The whole movie
Yeah.
it's my favorite. I
Yeah.
love it.
So good.
So good. And there's the
Yeah.
music. I
That
knew it
is.
was coming.
Actually, I think we all agree.
White Christmas?
White Christmas.
White
Yay.
Christmas? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
except for my wife, and that's okay.
That's all.
That's fine.
So much more on the other side, guys. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Later. Yay, commercial break.
Okay.
Okay.
That's so funny that you guys like White Christmas.
It's such a
Danny
good
Kaye's a
movie.
genius,
Well,
so love him.
I love old movies like that anyway. I love
Me too.
those old movies. I will watch those long before I watch any of this new crap that comes out.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then
Yep.
White Christmas, the song itself is by far my favorite Christmas song of all time. Like probably the first time I realized the song and actually listened to it, I actually teared up, like for real.
Right?
I did.
Aw.
I love it. I actually want it played at my funeral.
What?
I know. It sounds stupid.
What?
Well, I'm going to follow that up with the Marilyn Manson song. I figure we're going to make my funeral as crazy as humanly possible.
Why would it be Marilyn Manson?
That-
though? We can make some better ones.
The contrast.
We can make some
to
better
go
ones.
from Bing Crosby to Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be really, really bizarre.
With maybe a Garth Brooks in between.
Oh my gosh. My
yes.
brain is hurting thinking of
I
that.
know. I don't know what I'm going to do for my funeral. I don't know if I'm going to even be there. We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see how this works
I haven't
out.
decided yet. I might have a prior engagement.
Few and far between. I mean,
I know.
Just saying.
I'm telling you though. But it's by far one of my favorites. And then all the songs on there, the army one. Daggone it, it's slipping my mind now.
Oh, gee, I wish we were back in the army.
The army wasn't really bad at all.
Yeah.
3 meals a day, which you didn't pay. I lost the rest of it
All
now.
right.
But
I'm looking it up now.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
hi, we're back.
Hi.
Yay.
I
We're
love-
looking up Christmas.
I really do like that.
We're looking up lyrics.
That intro.
I know.
It's
We
so
just
good.
need to extend.
We
it
need
out
to
just
extend
a
it.
tad. But yeah, I'm looking. at
Danny Kaye wrote that one.
We wrote which one?
I wish I was back in
Did
the
he
army.
write it?
Danny Kaye wrote it.
Really?
Nice.
Let's see.
That.
I've got Rosemary Clooney singing. No, but she wasn't the only
Just
one
put
that sang it.
Just put
I just went
Danny
lyrics.
Kaye next to it.
Danny
Kaye.
Kaye.
There you go. I'll pull up the lyrics with him in there.
Hey,
There you go. I had to do the same thing with White Christmas and Bing
Oh
Crosby.
my gosh, I forgot to count your blessings. That song. Oh, that's a good one.
That's always good.
count your blessings,
Oh, but the best. Hello, sisters.
sisters, sisters. Nothing could come between a sister.
You know the worst part is
What's
now I'm thinking back like all the musicals that I've seen over the years and years and years and years, and the first thing that pops into my head is South Pacific, which is the exact opposite of this.
It is actually, but it's still good though.
So good.
Like
And I love South Pacific.
I did that one in high school.
I would.
I did too.
I wish.
Awesome.
I wish they made movies like that again.
So yeah.
You know what?
I
Okay,
know.
They technically they do.
not like that.
Okay, what I'm saying.
That's wholesome. That has a story. That's original.
Well, first off, technically, original. No, none of these were
No.
originals.
Well, but I mean,
But what I'm saying is, technically, they've been coming back with the musicals, live
have.
action
Yeah,
musicals.
they
I'm
have.
sorry, I do have to give it to Les Mis. They did a good job.
Yeah.
The new Les Mis was good.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't seen the original one.
that makes me sad.
I you know what? With all the streaming services that are out,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I missed this. If somebody knows, let me know. But But how come they don't have like a streaming service for like all the old classic movies?
Oh, they do.
Do they?
Oh, yes, they do.
I need to see that.
I will
because-
pull.
Oh.
I will pull one up on the
because
Roku's.
I need that because I would much rather, and it doesn't even have to be like just the John Wayne type stuff. I mean, all of it.
No,
you
I
know?
mean, yeah,
one,
they do it all.
one of my favorite movies is Arsenic and Lace.
That's really good.
Love that movie.
So good.
It's so good, so good, and like
Sharing. I can't not sisters right now.
That's okay.
Sorry.
You know, all you need to do is just wash that man right out of your hair. Okay. You know.
Gotta wash that man out of my hair. I
See?
love that song too. That's just a great musical.
There it is, right there.
I don't know. I didn't.
I don't know. Bloody Mary chewing beetle nuts is a big one too.
It's really hard to put on a one-man show of
Really
Les
is.
Mis.
Yeah. Well, yes, of course. And I'm not doing Les Mis.
And
That's South Pacific.
No, but I'm saying it. I was pulling mine out. Okay.
Oh, fine. Well, don't pull yours out. Nobody wants to see that.
Well, thank God we're on the radio.
Good job.
But yeah, no, it's kind of hard to do a one-man Les Mis when no one's there to listen and you're in the front yard.
Well, and it's very sad.
It goes back to the me and the marching band thing. That's
It makes it very sad.
it does in more ways than one.
Look,
Doesn't somebody die in that movie?
a lot of
Or
people
show?
die
Yeah,
in that
see?
movie.
So they're already dying, and then here I am
It's
looking
about
like a moron.
It's about the French Revolution. A
Revolution,
lot of
yeah.
people die in that movie.
Should have been really short then.
Nope.
The French revolted, didn't know what they were doing. Everybody died. Insane.
That's not how this works.
People don't have backstories. How dare you?
By the way, Ecological Center Slug says Die Hard. It's not a Christmas until she's seen Hans Gruber fall.
Okay, hold on. We're about to have a debate.
No, we're not.
Forget this story.
No.
We're about to have a
Oh, no.
debate.
No,
I want to know why people say. I don't know why people say this.
it's
but
held on Christmas.
because the movie's centered around Christmas. Do you realize how many movies centered around Christmas are not Christmas movies?
Yes, I do.
How come that one gets to be a Christmas movie then?
Because it's Die Hard. Because it's Die Hard. That is it. That is the only look. It's one of the movies where the name itself tells you that you're never going to get rid of it.
It does sound like a rash that won't go away.
It's Die Hard. Okay.
It's like
The movie is telling you before you watch it, you will never get rid of me ever.
yeah, it's like a bad case of the clap. You know what we forgot to do?
That-
What's that?
This is DOAE show. Defenders
yeah.
Live. Mojo 50. We got distracted.
We did.
Mojo 50. Go to mojo50.com. DOAEshow.com. Check out
Yes.
the website.
I revamped it. It looks pretty,
It does look pretty. Go check it out. Get you an ugly sweater just
Yes.
in time for the holidays.
which is also good.
It is very nice. Follow us at DOAE Show on all the social medias. Use the hashtag #ArmYourselves and at Kari Melinek on Twitter.
Who
Though
isn't
she
actually
is-
on Twitter?
Yeah, she
I
is.
will be soon.
She is
I
on
think
sabbatical.
probably in about a week.
I would wait until after the holidays. You've gone this long. You
Oh,
don't
like after Christmas and everything?
yeah. I mean, you've gone this far. It's only
Yeah.
about another month.
I mean, yeah.
Like-
just wait until the new year.
And you're going to be busy as all get out. If I were you, I would wait.
Celebrate the new year by jumping back onto Twitter
Yeah,
and getting depressed.
That could be your New Year's resolution to ease myself into.
Be depressed.
To ease
Yeah,
myself
jump
into
back
Twitter.
onto Twitter and get depressed. That's your New Year's
Oh,
resolution.
you know what? No, you know what? I might just start getting back on Twitter just to post because now I've got Bali High in my head. So maybe I'll just start posting little random. Is calling. Yes. Oh, God,
See, we had to
love.
we had to learn the French for that. Yeah.
I actually in South Pacific I was Liat, so I had like 2 words and couldn't. I mean, because the poor girl didn't understand a thing anyone was saying to her.
That's okay.
But,
I was the professor that also knows Latin, so I had to learn a bunch of Latin.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was a grandfather clock at a church play.
Yeah, you were.
I had to talk in a clock cadence for every single effing line I had to say. It was painful. I was in this giant refrigerator box thingy with the face cut out, and then my brother, the one right next to me, under me, is he was a Martian because he could make this really goofy noise or voice that he can't do now, I don't think. But it was this weird. So that my mom painted his face green, made him wear green like sweatpants and sweatshirt, and then he had like a green sand bucket on his head.
That's nice.
And he was
That's
was
awesome.
this little
He was a
alien.
Martian.
He was a little alien who didn't understand Christmas.
That's
and
so good.
I had to help him learn about the meaning of Christmas.
And one more of the crazy pieces that are Dylan's life have been set.
I know. The more I tell about my past, the more people start going,
Oh.
Oh,
I get it now. All right.
that makes sense.
That's amazing.
Got it. Everything's just kind of falling into place now.
I don't know anything. I'm looking it up right now. I don't really know anything about Dear Evan Hansen, which is a newer Broadway musical. It was
Oh no, I
from
don't.
like 27.
I don't do
Anyway.
new Broadway. No.
Well, okay, but that's where like not Sound of Music, but well, yeah, but
Well, I mean, The
South
Hills Are
Pacific,
Alive.
That was a play.
Yeah,
before it was a
I
movie.
get it. I understand that. What I'm saying is, the stuff that they have out now is all about everybody's got AIDS and gay and everything else.
You're
And
thinking
that's-
Rent.
That is Rent, but once again,
Okay, so that's one.
And West Side
Everybody
Story.
has
No.
a play.
every
Everyone
play is all about
in its
gay,
day.
lesbian, LGBT, blah 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 blah.
You know the first play I ever saw, like an actual play was Phantom of the Opera.
And that's a good one.
I went to we went to
It's amazing. I love that.
What's the performing arts place in Raleigh? So it was me and a bunch of guys guys and girls. We all went from college, and we all thought this was this big thing. Granted, the ticket we had like not quite the matinee, but it was still the very first show, so it was still bright outside, and all of us show up in like tux and evening gowns, and we thought we were something fancy because we're going to go see a play. Yeah, we were the
Yes.
only ones dressed like that.
Everybody else was just normal.
Yeah, and what was even weirder
Oh, the
was
Raleigh Amphitheater.
the amphitheater. Well,
Yeah,
no, not the amphitheater. It's the place, the performing arts, the one right there at the end of Fayetteville Street.
Oh, I know you don't know. Yeah.
Where the orchestra plays.
Yes.
But I go in there, and this is back when like cell phones. If you had an earpiece, it was always wired, but it was one ear.
Only one ear.
And I had really long hair at the time,
So you covered it.
so it was slicked back. No, it was slicked back, and I had my glasses on in a tux, and so I started messing with the people inside the building. I just would stand at different spots and just on a high ledge. I would put my finger to my ear, and I would start pointing.
Oh my gosh.
And once again,
I just start walking towards
another
them.
piece of the puzzle of Dylan falls into place.
I know. I start walking towards them, and they start getting this look on their face, and I would be like, "Oh,"
Turn away.
and I'd say out loud, "Oh, that's not it." Okay, sorry. Abort, and I'd start talking into my wrist. Yeah, I was. This is what happens when you show up way too early before curtain call. So
That really is.
anyway, I thought the story was
I mean, it sounds like we're past the
Well-
point of no return now, but
kind of.
So hold on. What I was saying about this musical, going
Yeah.
back to Dear Evan Hansen,
Sure.
the music is really good.
Is
I really
it?
enjoy it.
Is
The
it?
end. Now we can move on.
Now we
all
can
right,
move
now
on.
we can move on.
It has
moving on.
the pastor's stamp of approval.
There we go. Boom.
Yes.
Done. So, you also wanted to talk a little bit about. You wanted to bring up, your favorite verse to pass along if you're doing evangelism and things like that.
Yeah. I was thinking about this because part of what I think. Well, we're preaching through the Book of Acts right now, and the
That's a
same story
really-
happens over and over again with Paul
Right.
and Silas, where they go into a synagogue to first preach to the Jews and then the Gentiles, and time again
Yes.
they get run out of town, beat up, dragged before some sort of council. They get in trouble. Anyway, so, but it says that, Paul was in the synagogue and explaining or using scripture to preach to the Jews and Gentiles. And I was thinking, we're missionaries as the church. We're called to be missionaries
Yeah.
in whatever place God has put us. And
Mm-hmm.
so what do you have a go-to couple of verses, or do you just have a conversation? Like, do you have any verses that you go to? I was just curious about that.
So it's a funny thing that you mentioned that, because it's a mentality as well. It's not just the verses. It's not just what you go to. It's not just how you work at it. It's a mentality as well. We have to understand that you have Paul, and you've got Peter, and you've got how they taught.
Mary.
Well, no, how they taught and what came about from their teachings. Right. One was teaching to the Jews. One was teaching to the Gentiles. And while the one teaching to the Gentiles didn't see as many converts immediately and all the rest, it saw the lasting impression and what actually became the gospel throughout the world. But we need to understand that we're teaching to a generation of Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, we're teaching to a generation of people who currently, right now, 25% is now the number of considered self-appointed atheists.
Okay.
Whether they know it, whether they actually believe in God, whether they think of God in any way, whatever the case may be, none of them have a true understanding when you're talking about this sort of thing of the faith and of the story and what it came to be. So you have to actually walk them through step by step by step by step from the very, very beginning, because what we understand as once again, it goes through the idea. What we understand as a stumbling block for the Jews is a complete roadblock for a Gentile. They just look at it, they turn a direction and walk away. It's not even something to pay attention to. They pass it by like it is nothing. And that's kind of the understanding of the gospel. So how I've always been taught is to do what was considered the gospel U. Do you know what that is?
The gospel mu?
No,
U.
U,
Like the letter U.
Oh,
I may have that. Hang on.
I thought you meant like
Well, I've got the book over there
or MEW, like what a kitten says.
Minutes over there. But so the gospel U, and it's really simple. Okay, it actually uses the same idea as the thing, life in 6 words, sort of premise. You ever heard that? Where like they take the word gospel and then they use it as an acronym.
Okay.
But it's very simple. It goes to the idea that you teach them about how God created us to be with Him, and then you step down. So you're in the top of the U on the left hand side. God created us to be with Him, to be of Him, etc., etc. Our sins separated us from God. So there was the original sin. You go through that whole idea. Then you break it down. Now the sins, and this is at the very bottom. You get your sins.
Yeah.
They cannot be removed by just deeds alone. There has to be a price paid. There has to be a sacrifice. There has to be something to redeem it.
I just sent it to
Look
you.
at that. Oh, you got it. Yeah. He's got it right there. He
Yeah.
sent it to you.
I texted
Kari.
it to you.
Oh, okay.
I know you're on the phone, but I'm just saying.
Right. Text it to you. And it goes through. Okay, so you go to the right side, and then you go back up the U, and it's okay. Well, what happened? God sent Jesus the Christ to pay for our sins, and He died for our sins, and then conquered death, rose again, and everyone who and it goes through your trust. Anyone who trusts in Him alone, proclaiming His name, has eternal life in Him, and then you start at the very end. Life with Jesus starts now and forever. And you go through that entire process. Obviously, we have Bible verses in the gospel track and everything else that goes through it. It's just a little step-by-step process. I mean, other than that, I really like Romans 5:8.
Okay.
I do. I know. It's on your arm, dude. It's on.
Not.
Oh, that's right. You were thinking about doing it a long time ago, but then you didn't do it. Never mind.
Yeah.
I really do still like Romans 5:8.
So no, there's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do like Romans 5:8. But God shows His love for us, that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. You have
Yeah.
to you have
Yeah.
to go through the entire process of understanding in this. It's not just that one thing. When you go evangelize, you have to make sure that people understand the beginning, the middle, and the end, because we like to skip to the end and, hey, Jesus died for you. Trust him. And that's not how it works. Thank you, Zig.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Can't take nothing serious.
Nope, nothing at all.
That's funny.
But so what do you do? Where are you at on that? What do you think about when you do evangelism with people?
Well, I just flash a smile and I say, believe, and they do. No.
That's the pastor life right there.
That's what you get when you go to seminary.
Right.
No, not hardly. Not hardly. No, I am actually, and this is also part of it. I have really been drawn to Ephesians.
Really?
Specifically that first chunk in chapter 2 where it talks about being dead in trespasses and sin, and I mean it goes down to the fact that we are by nature children of wrath, and so I mean we are left with total depravity, right? So you have that crap, but then it flips it, and I always, it's God who is rich in mercy, or being rich in mercy, because of the great love with which he loved us. So then we have God's love for us, and his mercy made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved. It goes a little bit more, and then it talks about, again, it repeats, for by grace you have been saved through faith. It's not your own doing. It's the gift of God. And
right.
So I find myself in Ephesians a lot
when it comes to that sort of thing, and that's actually a pretty good place, especially there. I mean, I've gone through Romans, looking at that, and that's a great place, but that's really in depth. That's for somebody that you've been having a long conversation with already.
And I think that's you know what though, honestly, that is a great point, because sometimes, and honestly, the best evangelizing, the best witness that we can do is with people that, how does someone, one of my congregants put it this way once. What did he say? We have to, because we were talking about what's the difference between outreach and evangelism, and he was saying, well, outreach is what earns us the right to evangelize, and I really liked that, because we need to build those relationships in order to earn that right to witness. So if it's someone that you already have a relationship with, then going deeper into something like Romans, I think you're at a different place than if you're
that's where
someone's approaching just
definitely,
hey, so
yeah.
tell me a little bit about this, right?
For sure. You have to really be like already friends with them. You have to kind of have had conversations multiple times with them, really figured out where you're at in that sort of relationship.
Lay the groundwork.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. What about you, Dylan?
Oh, I'm a horrible person. I don't evangelize.
Oh, great.
I mean,
He's honest.
Steven mentioned it, and I'm like, crap. Like because I don't, and it's not an intentional thing. It's not a planned thing. I just don't. I never find myself in a spot. I never do that. And so, to be fully transparent and honest, I've never really thought about it. I've always been kind of a chicken about things like that, which is wrong to do, and I know it is.
It's actually just really weird considering you sit there on the radio
I know.
and talk.
It is really weird. I can't really explain why, other than the fact that I have this. You know what? I do know what it is. I have this fear that I'm going to screw up.
That is actually that's
most common.
And the fear of offending or being completely rejected. Those are the top fears in evangelizing.
Yeah, I don't care about the other two.
I don't care about being rejected.
I do care about like the idea that I'm going to say or word something in a way that, because all it takes is just changing one word and changes the entire meaning. And in a situation or not thinking that I'm going to turn around and do that, and then all of a sudden, you've
changed the gospel into something completely wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say suddenly they're Roman Catholic or Mormon, and I'm like, oh God, no, that's wrong. Don't do that. And I know it's not an excuse to not do it. I don't do it.
Well,
I try to I try to live it, and let that kind of be it, and that's it. And apparently I'm not doing a very good job because nobody ever asks me, hey, you're doing something different. What are you doing? So
you're so different from everyone I've met. What's up?
yeah, I don't get that.
So, first, I would say I would have to clarify that Roman Catholic and Mormonism are very different.
Right. Yes, they are. We
I would not lump them together.
No. Well, he's just saying as the far spectrum of things go.
There.
Yeah, I was going extremes is what I was going with.
As the extremes of
All
extremes
of a
go.
sudden, he's Mormon. What or Muslim? What happened?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
talking about Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's Buddhist.
Well, they talk about Jesus too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing, and I think that I could be wrong, but I think so when I'm teaching, like I've been teaching a little bit of I started a class on Christology this last weekend. Our Sunday school class is on Christology, and so I started it with because we're using the creeds of the church, the Apostles, the Nicene, and the Athanasian Creed as guidelines, because especially the Nicene Creed and Athanasian Creed, those were really developed. The Nicene Creed took 2 big councils to develop, and they were not just concisely stating faith, but it was also putting into a faith statement what they were rejecting, right? So that came about through through rejecting some heresies. Anyway, or one in particular.
Correct.
So I started, and at the end of the class, there were, I said, okay, well, I guess I'll take questions because I never know. And there were a couple of questions, and I didn't know yet. I said, oh gosh, I remember reading about blank, but I can't remember exactly what I did. So let me look into that, and I'll get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, does that invalidate anything that I have brought to the table to that point? Absolutely not. It shows that A, I am human. B, I don't know everything. C, this is and anyone, I would say anyone, I would think both of you would agree with this, that the more you grow in faith and learn and know, the more you realize how much you don't know. Right?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
So that's part of the exciting thing in faith and in maturing in faith, that we can say, wow, I don't know that, but that's okay. It's not a problem. And there was a I was teaching an adult Sunday school class in Charleston. This is before I did anything with seminary. I was just leading an adult Sunday school class, and a question of the Trinity came up, and it turned out that I went ahead and taught a heresy to my class.
There you go.
Sure, why not?
Then I'm sitting in seminary years later, and we're going through, and we start going over that heresy, and I went, oh my gosh, I taught that.
Oops.
I know that one.
I remember that one when I said it.
Does that mean that, I think that the mercy of Christ, the love of God, trumps an honest mistake or an honest
Sure, yeah.
ignorance, right? So I say this just to encourage you in, when you have that prompting of, go ahead, talk to this person, do it.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And just to kind of round it all off, Doc Thompson got run over by an Amtrak. He says, I don't like go-to verses. The Bible was not originally set up in verses. Those are points of reference to help us find specific locations. The Bible was meant to be told as a story, and those details are very important in that story, not just the verse and number. And I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
I agree with the
It is meant to be
sentiment
told,
of that.
spoken. It is meant to be said in story and understood by not only reading it, by hearing it.
Yay. This hour went by way too fast.
It really did.
Yes, it did.
We should get the
It
numbers
really
in,
did.
though.
All right, get to the numbers.
Get to the numbers.
Good evening, Mojo 50. I'm Leprechaun, and here with your bell count grade for the day, Tuesday, November 19th. Today we had 5 missed innuendo bells, 69 actual bells, 3 rim shots, and 5 oh my gosh. Giving us an A for the day for the 69. Peace out and good night, y'all.
I knew he was going to do that.
Yep. Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.